Hi there, everybody. Good Saturday morning. It is February 21st. We have so much to discuss. So much has developed in the last 24 hours here. We're going from, this is now going to be a very large system that impacts us. So we are going to really have to take it seriously. And we're going to give you the latest here. Ask any questions that you can. Yesterday, I was having some issues seeing the comments, but I think it should be better now. So I'll be watching for that, and we'll go from there. I'm going to keep my phone over here, though, just to make sure I don't miss anything. Hopefully everything's going to be okay. But we're going to give you the latest here because we are now expecting a blizzard. Yeah, that's not a word that we use lightly. A blizzard is a very, very big deal here. So let me go ahead and share what we've got going on. So here is a look at the weather alerts that we're tracking here. A blizzard warning for just the shoreline that could be extended to more of the region, but I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty sure the reason why they put it at the shoreline specifically is because they have the best chance to see these those very, very strong wind gusts here. Okay, I think I'm having another issue on here with the comments. Let me just make sure that I'm seeing them again. There we go. Okay, now we've got them. All right, perfect. Somebody said, so tired of the snow. Me too. Me too. But I want to break down this map for you because it's very interesting. So we have a blizzard warning in effect for the shoreline, then a winter storm warning for southern Connecticut. You're noticing we still have a winter storm watch for the northern part of Connecticut. A watch is will be upgraded to a warning, whether it's a winter storm warning or a blizzard warning. We're still not sure at this point, but I do think that I would lean more towards, even if we don't get an official blizzard warning, we are expecting a blizzard. And we're going to talk about what that means, because the main difference between this and other systems, like think back to a month ago when we saw that big system, that big snowstorm, the wind is the big factor here. So I do want to dive into that before I answer some questions here. As it populates, what constitutes a blizzard? We need strong winds gusting over 35 miles an hour, which is expected. This is Sunday evening through Monday evening. Then we need falling or blowing snow. Technically, for a blizzard to happen, we don't need snow to be falling. It just needs to be blowing around, reducing that visibility to less than a quarter of a mile for 3 or more hours. That looks very likely. Adding heavy snow falling on top of that makes for whiteout conditions, and that's what we are afraid is going to happen many times through late Sunday night and Monday morning. So let's start to answer your questions here. How are we looking for the 395 corridor Killingly area? I'll tell you the biggest update that I've noticed so far this morning, and here's your snow map. Take a second to breathe before you see this, because we've made some huge changes here. Yeah, 10 to 20 inches. Truthfully, is everybody going to see 20 inches? Absolutely not. In fact, there might be more areas that lean towards that 10 to 12 inch mark. That's still very impactful. The reason why we did 10 to 20 for all of the area is because that system is shaping up to provide some really heavy bands across a lot of the state, and that can lead to some high snowfall totals. That's also why it's a larger range, 10 to 20. At the end of the day, everybody going to see impactful snow from this system. What's the expected start time? I'm expecting this between roughly 3 to 9 p.m. tomorrow. That is a large period of time, and I'm going to explain why in just a second. Do you think flights from Connecticut to DC at 6:30 a.m. Sunday morning will be okay? Sunday morning should be fine. Sunday morning should be fine. It's later in the day, though. To DC, they're probably going to get in on the action by the midday hour. So I'm hoping for you it'll be okay. 6:30 a.m. for Sunday would be all right. Monday, that's a completely different story. How many inches are expected in Hartford County? We do expect 10 to 20 inches. We might get some drier air right along the Connecticut River Valley, so that could lead to closer to that 10-inch mark, but still expecting a lot of snow from this system. When is it starting? When will things start to close? We're expecting this to start tomorrow afternoon and evening. I would expect closings as early as then. I had a question earlier pop up about church for Sunday morning. Sunday morning should be okay. It's later in the day that we are going to see these issues. Really, if you can be home before the afternoon rolls in, that would be best. But if you have to push it until the evening, that should be okay. And I'm going to go ahead and show you why. Somebody said, why can't you narrow it down? Do we really not know how much? We know it's going to be near over a foot for most of the regions, but what we're kind of watching for is bands of this snow. And again, we could see some drier air in the Hartford area. But at the end of the day, we were all kind of putting this forecast together. And at the end of the day, it's impactful no matter where you go. And the wind is kind of the biggest factor here. So we don't want to spend a lot of time on specific town by town totals, because one band of heavy snow, if it moves just a couple of feet, couple of miles, it makes a huge difference. At the end of the day, everybody sees impactful snow, and it's that wind that's going to create very, very low visibility. Somebody said, do you think I need to cancel my movie tickets to go see Elvis tomorrow at 4 p.m. in Plainville? What a very specific question, but I can answer that for you. All right, so here's kind of what we're seeing. So just a couple little spotty snow showers, spotty. So you, through today, tonight, and even into parts of Sunday, could see just a teeny bit of snow, but I do think the bulk of it holds off until later on in the evening. So just know you could be out and about on Sunday in the morning, midday hours, and see a little bit of snow. Would not be too alarmed at that point. Winds will be on the calmer side. So that is good news there. But it's as we head towards the evening hours, after about 5, 6 p.m. or so, that's when things get really, really tough. So just know we might see a light snow through Sunday morning, through Sunday in the afternoon hours, but it's really picking up by the evening. Another question, is it going to be a wet, heavier snow? I do expect a little bit more of a wet, heavy snow with this system, but still light enough to fly about with the wind, if that makes sense. It should compact on the ground, but once it's in the air, it'll fly about and just provide that low visibility. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but I think that's the best way to describe it. How is the Monday morning commute to work going to look? I am expecting that to be the biggest issue. Monday morning does not look great. And again, I know this is a huge change in a short amount of time. I'm scrambling over here, right? Because this could be as, if not even more impactful than the storm that we saw a month ago. And I hate hyping things up. I hate it more than anything. But this is one that we really do have to pay attention to. This is a nor'easter that is going to become extremely strong and provide these conditions. That's very different than what we saw a month ago. And that wind is really going to create some issues. So again, I really don't want to, I hate overhyping things. I do, but this one deserves it. This one absolutely deserves it. I know it feels like it came out of nowhere. And in a way, it kind of did. But now we just have to hunker down and get through it. Nor'easters have the capability to become extremely strong. And that's why we are talking so much about it for Sunday evening through Monday evening. And it will be heavy snow. Will things shut down? I absolutely believe that will be the case. When do we expect it to wrap up? It will wrap up through the Monday, kind of the evening hours there. So right on your screen here, you've got possible travel impacts. I don't see a huge issue through Sunday. Sunday afternoon, all right, it gets a little dicey at times just because some of that snow starting up, but the heaviest of the snow doesn't come until Sunday evening and Sunday night. So after the sun sets here, after about 6 p.m. And we'll see that very heavy snow through Sunday night. Monday morning, I do expect the highest impacts here because of the heavy snow and the wind. I think travel is, I think it is almost going to be impossible in some areas. And again, I know what it probably sounds like. It sounds like, oh my goodness, you're going crazy with this system. I am a meteorologist who knows that you can never underestimate the impact of a nor'easter, because those things get crazy. And that's kind of what we're tracking here. Again, let me take a breath for a second, because I don't want to scare anybody. I definitely don't. But this is just a system that we really have to pay attention to. And unlike the one a month ago, we only have less than a 2-day lead up to it, instead of a month ago and we had like 5 or 6 days, right? So that's kind of why we're really, really hunkering down on this one. How long will the winds last? I think the wind will be very prevalent through Monday and coming to an end Monday night. So the good news is it's really only like a 24-hour system. It could be much longer. Nor'easters have a tendency to kind of stick around a little too long, but it looks like it would just be, I would say right now, 6 p.m. Monday to 6 p.m. Sunday to 6 p.m. Monday is kind of what we are tracking here. I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything for us. Okay, cool. I keep seeing the word blizzard. Does this qualify as a blizzard? It does. We currently only have a blizzard warning for the shoreline of Connecticut, but I do still expect blizzard conditions across the state here. And we could even see an upgrade into a blizzard warning once we get a little bit more model data in. But what makes a blizzard? We need to have wind gusts over 35 miles an hour, which we will. We need to have falling or blowing snow, which we will. And that combination leads to less than a quarter mile of visibility for 3 hours or more, which we are expecting. So that is kind of the big thing. The big thing that sets this one aside from the others is the wind. And just with how powerful this storm is, that is another reason why it's time to be like, all right, this one could produce some really heavy bands of snow. Will there be any issues with travel on Tuesday? Great question. Tuesday looking much better. Sunshine, temperatures in the 30s. We could see some issues maybe Tuesday morning with anything that's untreated, but winds should be calmer by Tuesday. So that's good news there. It's a very quick hitting system. I kind of want to show you what's happening here. You may have heard of the, or somebody's asking, let's see, no work. Are we going to have school and work canceled on Monday? I would assume so. Let's see. Okay, so here's what's happening here. This system is just really, look at all of that energy that's happening there. That's what's happening. Just a very, very quickly moving system that is going to impact us through Monday as I throw my mouse everywhere. Let's see what else everybody's commenting. You guys are doing a great job with all of this. We appreciate it. When would be the best time for snow removal? That's a great question as well. Really, once that wind dies down, and the wind's going to be tough. Also, another thing with here, I'm going to show these totals again for you, because everybody's like, what do you mean 10 to 20 inches? This is a huge change. This is crazy. The wind going to make it extremely difficult to measure that snow. We'll see drifts. We'll see some issues there. This is a northeast wind. Classic nor'easter setup here. So that's going to, of course, create some more issues here. Let's talk about the wind, because somebody's asking about snow removal. So let's talk about kind of like timing out this wind for you. So let me go ahead and grab, let me find the good model I want to use. Let me enter into this. Let's see. Okay, let's talk about this wind, because that's a big talker right now. I'm just going to make sure that I've got everything in here. Perfect. Okay, so here's the wind for today. For Sunday morning. Very calm, but as we go through Sunday, kind of slowly cranking up, really by even Sunday afternoon, not terrible. But then as we head into Sunday night, take a look at what happens. Monday morning, that is a hard-hitting system there, because that's when this nor'easter will be extremely close. So that's when wind gusts could be between 35 and 50 miles an hour. That definitely would constitute for a a blizzard. So while we only have a blizzard warning at the shoreline right now, very well could be extended to more of us. And if it's not, still expect blizzard conditions here. So here's this system. Here's the wind. Yeah, potentially gusting up to 50 miles an hour. We're also going to have to watch the high tide cycle for Monday morning because that can lead to some coastal flooding there as well. But here's this system. We're still tracking the wind, but you'll notice starting to die down by Monday night. So this specific system is specific model, if I could talk this morning, is starting to have things calm down pretty quickly into Monday evening. So it's all day Monday, and then by Monday evening, we start to see things calm down a bit. By Tuesday morning, definitely getting much better. We'll still see a persistent breeze, but much calmer. So Tuesday looking much better at this point. Let's see what else. Somebody says, if you have something planned in the new London area for Sunday afternoon, should it still go on? Sunday afternoon, here, let me go back to kind of walking you through this. I'm gonna grab this model. This is the one I'm about to show you is the HRRR or the HER. Which I think is doing a good job of starting to get a grasp of what's happening here. So stepping you through this, very spotty. There's also a chance, just with all the moisture we have, think about what happened yesterday. There's another chance for a couple of flurries, a couple of sprinkles as we go through parts of Saturday night, and Sunday. Here's the system, though. It's light to start. If you're out and about when this system is starting tomorrow afternoon, it's not terrible. But it's when that heavy snow starts up when we have an issue, which we're starting to kind of see by about 5 p.m. So if it were me, again, I can't make any decisions for you. And for any, a lot of people are like, should we cancel school? I can't make your decisions for you. I'm just giving you the information. But if it were me, I would try to be inside by 5 p.m. That across the statewide by 5 p.m. at the absolute latest. That's the latest I would take it. And then we ride out the storm from there, because once the darker blue, purple that you get, that is heavy, heavy snow. Oh, I don't know what I pressed something weird. Sorry. Here we go. So yeah, some super heavy snow. And I do think the worst of it is coming on Monday morning. So is travel going to be okay Sunday afternoon and evening? Yeah, not terrible, but not great. But Monday morning, I don't see it happening. Monday morning just looks extremely, extremely difficult for travel. So if you're able to right now, go ahead and plan to not be on the roads, especially Monday morning between, I would even say Sunday night and most of Monday here as well. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of what we're tracking here. Just really heavy snow, and then it'll slowly taper through the day on Monday afternoon. Again, we're just giving you the latest. I'm gonna be honest. I'm probably as frustrated as you are when it comes to where did this come from? Why is this so big, with such short notice? People are like, oh, you downplayed it earlier this week. A lot of people did. The system didn't look like it was going to do anything. All of a sudden, everything's coming together for a very large system. It's really unfortunate. We hate it just as much as you all do, but it's our job to kind of sift through the data and give you the latest information. This is not an update I want to give. I don't want any more snow. Personally, I'm tired. I'm ready to move on to spring. 27 days away, by the way, less than 4 weeks now. But we do have to get you through this system. And I'm just telling you right now, just based on what I know as a meteorologist, never underestimate the power of a nor'easter. That's going to create heavy, heavy snow, strong winds. And that's why I'm telling you right now, from Sunday evening through Monday evening, I would not want to be on the roads. And that's just me as a Met. That's my opinion. based on what I'm seeing here. But this is quite a big system, and I know it's coming together in a very short amount of time. But I'm just telling you right now, this is what we're seeing. Somebody is asking about snowfall totals. Get ready. This is a big change. And I know it's sudden. It's sudden. I know. But I do think that this guy has a good chance to provide 10 to 20 inches across the state. That's a large spread, but at the end of the day, anywhere between 10 and 20, that's impactful snow. And it's going to be harder to measure because of that wind. It's going to be blowing everywhere. So at the end of the day, we'll have bands of heavy snow. Not everybody's going to see 20 inches by any means. In fact, some of us will likely be closer to that 10-inch mark. It might be very spotty across the state, but we didn't want to go through and come up with, teeny tiny little changes, because one, that is almost impossible to forecast accurately. And two, at the end of the day, it's impactful. So that's kind of what we're watching here. And I'm being as honest as I am, because I would want to know the logistics as well. And this is, we try to be as transparent as possible with you. And at the end of the day, we know it's going to be impactful, and with the wind. So that's kind of what we're seeing here. So it's an interesting time. Somebody's asking about power outages. That's a great question. Let's talk about power outages, because unfortunately, that is it's very, very possible here because of these winds. Again, let me go ahead and just walk you through these because of this system here. Let's go ahead. Let me grab all of this information for you. So here's this system. Here's the wind. When we get winds over roughly 40 miles an hour for a long period of time, that can create some issues. Now, for the 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts, I think the window here is roughly 3 a.m. Monday to 3 p.m. Monday. So that's a 12-hour radius here, but that's still enough. And that can create some issues out there. So, I mean, unfortunately, that's a very well possibility. We didn't see a lot of power outages with that last storm, thank goodness, because that was so much snow. But this one with the wind, it's always going to be a possibility. People are asking, is this a wet snow? Is this a dry snow? Are we seeing icy conditions? This looks like more of a wet snow for us, so a little heavier. I'm trying to figure out how to describe this to you, because it's an interesting setup. The one from a month ago. Also, can you believe that big snowstorm was a month ago? It was 4 weeks ago. Crazy. It feels like 5 million years ago. But that was a dry snow, super, super fluffy, right? As this snow is coming down, it's going to feel kind of dry. And that wind is going to kind of dry it out. I don't know if this makes sense. So let me know if it does. The wind is going to kind of remove that moisture and provide more of a drier feel. So that's going to allow for it to move around. The wind is a crazy tool, and it's so interesting. So the wind is going to allow for it to sway everywhere. But if that snow can fall on each other and compact with the snow that we already have on the ground, that's going to be wet, and it's really going to come down and unfortunately weigh quite a bit. So it's just a very interesting setup, and I'm not sure if how I'm explaining it is very interesting, but we're just watching it. Let's see what else. I live on the coast. The last big storm, it switched over to freezing rain. Will the coastline switch to rain? We don't expect that at this point. And I'll tell you right now, something that we watch to see if that's a possibility. So let me go ahead and go back to our future radar. I'm sorry, I feel like I am skipping a couple of questions. Sorry, you guys are asking so many. I see all the comments. Let me grab this for you. So one of the questions was, are we going to see icy conditions? Are we going to see any transition to freezing rain, that kind of thing. Let's walk you through it. So here's the system. Somebody was also asking about a flight from Connecticut to DC tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, it should be okay. The earlier, the better for sure. But unfortunately, I have people who are asking about flights on Monday, and it doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. I apologize. I obviously don't control the weather. It'd be cool if I could. A lot of people have asked. I've tried, but we're getting there. All right, so here's this system. So you can see some pink. That freezing rain gets close, but I think we're going to see it kind of hold off until we just see that snow there. What could change and provide that freezing rain is if that core of that system that you see there on the bottom right of your screen moves a little bit closer. We don't really expect that here. So that is why it's mainly just going to be snow, even at the shoreline here. This is such a strong system. It boggles my mind how quickly this one has come together. I also want to point out how interesting, where was my train of thought going? Oh, how interesting just this is, because I want to show you our current satellite and radar. This system is not formed yet. This is all just model data. And that's what we rely on. So again, what we're watching right now for you. Let me see if I can grab my little pointer. Right here. We'll see something form. And it's going to move off the coast and make its way. That's kind of what we're seeing. But it's just going to pass. So originally, what we were talking about several days ago was, okay, yeah, maybe a coastal storm forms, but it moved out to sea, right? But no, this one's a nor'easter. It is taking an exact nor'easter track. And you've probably heard the term bomb cyclone before. That's what's happening here. Just really, really increasing the strength of the storm. Let's see what else we've got going on here. Somebody's asking about the Northwest Hills. The Northwest Hills will be less snow and slightly less wind gusts. I don't think necessarily it's less snow. I think we all have a very good chance of seeing those high snowfall totals. I think the further northwest that you go, like up towards like Albany, it's less of a snow amount, and there's probably going to be a pretty tight gradient of snow there. But right now, we think that the heavy bands of snow are going to be across the entire state. If our storm trends just a little bit further out to sea, yeah, maybe we'll see, 6 to 10. But that's still impactful. But right now, we think it's pretty damning evidence that we'll see 10 to 20 inches of that snow. And I want to show you this graphic again, because I think this does a good job of showing the system. Somebody was asking about Monday morning. Why isn't this wrapping up on Monday morning? The heavy snow is going to be the worst of this system, but I do still think it's windy, and it's still kind of at least lightly snowing through Monday afternoon. That wind, though, going to create some issues. Blizzard warnings technically don't even need snow to be issued. We don't even need to have snow falling for a blizzard warning to be issued. There just has to be snow that's not compacted, that can blow around and create some very low visibility. So even if snow, I still think it's going to be lightly to moderately snowing through much of Monday, but even if it stops a little bit earlier, still going to be impactful, still very windy, and going to create those issues. People are asking about cancellations at airports. I mean, I'm not obviously an airport official, but I would say we would probably see some cancellations. I would say as early as 6, 7, 8 p.m. tomorrow, and then through much of Monday. So I would be prepared for that, and watch where your layovers are. From here all the way down to DC are gonna see some issues. Let's see. Is there still a chance that the storm can shift eastward? There is a little bit, but it wouldn't, even if the storm shifts a little bit further east, it would not be a miss. We would still see impacts from this system in terms of strong winds and heavy snow. Everything is, we've got the just the perfect setup for this system, and it's all come together within the last 24 hours. So even if it does shift a little bit, and we'll let you know if it does, even if it does, the big changes that I could see, if it moves a little bit further out to sea, we would see potentially some slight decrease in the totals to the northwest hills, but still I would think it'd be 6 to 10. But right now, if it takes this setup, which it's looking more and more likely that it does, the perfect path for us would provide 10 to 20 inches of snow and wind gusts over 50 miles an hour from Sunday evening through Monday evening. It's tough. This is, again, I'm not looking forward to it. I'm ready to hang up the boots and go on sprint, but we can't all get what we want, can we? Hopefully this is the last storm, but that's what I said about the last one. So we'll see. Mother Nature always throws us a wrench. But again, here's kind of the headlines that we're watching here. You are going to see some on and off snow showers at times through your Sunday, but Sunday afternoon and evening, we'll really see that snow ramp up, and it'll be some heavy snow as we go through Sunday evening, Sunday night especially, and Monday morning, but it still progresses through parts of Monday. And winds will be gusting between 40 to 50 miles an hour with low visibility, slippery roads expected. Somebody said, Alexis, it's not tough. It's Connecticut. That's fair. That's a good point. I moved to the Northeast. I moved to New England. I got to be prepared. And that's what we're seeing. It's just been such a mild winter these last few years, right? So this is a big change. We haven't seen this in a while. And it's, kind of it's a sudden change, right? With this, it didn't look promising 24 to 48 hours ago. And now it does, obviously. So you're absolutely right. Somebody is asking about the wind, the damaging power outage. Unfortunately, tree damage can be an issue. It's mostly those power lines that could be whipped around a little bit. One good thing about trees this time of year is they don't have leaves on them to weigh the branches down, because that can create issues with the wind. So there's usually a little bit less of a wind threat this time of year. Still looking at wet and heavy with the wind. I do think it's I'm trying to figure out how best to describe it, because it's a little bit of both. It can be a dry and a wet snow. I don't know if that makes sense, but the dry, as it's coming down, that wind is going to dry out the snow, right? That's going to allow it to blow everywhere and have those issues. But when it's super heavy, it is going to be very wet snow that compacts to each other, the snowflakes will compact to each other as they're falling. Likely going to be some really big flakes here. And as you're shoveling, with the fluffy snow, you can just use a little leaf blower and that's fine. But wet, heavy snow, which we're kind of expecting through Sunday night and into Monday, it's not as easy to remove that way. So it's both. For removal purposes, I think it's more of a wetter, heavier snow. Somebody's asking about the Bronx. Well, they're expecting quite a bit as well, 10 to 20 inches of that snow with super high winds, up to 40, 50 miles an hour. They do have a blizzard warning for all 5 boroughs, I believe. Let's see. I know. Somebody said, I hope the plow crews have enough. Absolutely. I hope so too. One thing I would be concerned about with crews is, yes, rock salt and ice melt would work in these conditions. But will wind play a factor? That's something to really pay attention to. And the crews have done such a great job this year so far. And I know they'll be working really hard through Sunday and Monday. As for power outages, unfortunately, like I said, yeah, that is very much a possibility here. with this system, those winds gusting between 40 and 50 miles an hour. Is this going to be a strong banding snow or more like a widespread snow? That's a great question as well. I do think we see some really strong bands forming, and that is why we've made a widespread, larger range amount here. Because when you think about it, over 6 inches of snow is impactful, right? It's going to be an impactful system. I think everybody sees at least 6 inches, if not more, obviously. But 10 to 20, with banding happening, we could see a band. I don't know if my little clicker, oh, it will. It'll pop up here. We could see banding like right, let's say like right here, or another band right here, right? In between that, they might see a little less of an amount there, but still impactful. So one town could see 10 inches. The next town over could see 20. That's impossible to forecast, even with the best technology and forecasters. That's banding is practically impossible to forecast accurately. So that's why we just, at the end of the day, we all of the Mets, we looked at each other and we're like, yeah, this is going to be impactful no matter what. So we're going to spend less time on the totals that are very, very, very hard to do anyways. And we're going to spend more time talking about how the wind makes it extremely impactful. Winds are going to be very, very strong. Absolutely. Everybody sees the strong winds, especially the shoreline, though. They're just more exposed. But winds gusting up to 40, 50 miles an hour, unfortunately. It will start snowing between about 6. I'm sorry, I'm getting my numbers mixed up because I'm talking about totals. It'll start snowing between 3 and 9 p.m. Lightly to start, and then it picks up. So you might see a little bit of light snow through the day at times on Sunday. Then it really picks up as we go into Sunday evening, Sunday night, and Monday. As I said earlier, I would want to be inside my house personally by 5 p.m. Sunday at the latest there. Let's see. Is there a bust potential? That's a great question as well. I don't see that at this point. I mean, there's always a bust potential with these kind of storms specifically, but even if we see this storm move just a little bit further out to sea or a little bit further inland, it's still impactful no matter what. So if it moves a little bit further out to sea, it's slightly less impactful, but still very much so. We're still going to see several inches of snow with winds gusting over 40 miles an hour. When is this starting? Again, between 3 and 9 p.m. on Sunday. So really, as we head towards this evening, I'm sorry, tomorrow evening. You can tell I've been awake since 2 a.m. When do you think they'll start canceling schools? I would assume pretty soon. I think a lot of people are waiting for 1 or 2 more model runs to come on in to make sure that this is for sure what's going to happen. It's definitely looking more and more likely. So as those model runs come in, and they'll come in this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow morning, we'll keep you updated here for sure. There you go. Cool. Like all of you, I'm also not ready for the snow. Well, some of you, it looks like some of you are excited for the snow. I'm not there yet. I would be if I just traveling, in these conditions are tough. Other than that, it's a lot of fun. If you can ride it out and power doesn't go out, it's great. But traveling, and if power does go out, that can be an issue. So I don't know what the name of this storm is. We personally don't name it. It's not like hurricanes where the National Hurricane Center would name them, or the World Meteorological Organization. There's not like an official winter storm name ordeal. So we don't have a name. the whole state starting just at 3 o'clock or just certain areas? Really, I think it would start southwest first. So Fairfield County, New Haven would get the start of it at 3. And again, light snow possible through the afternoon, but it's the heavy stuff. That's when I wouldn't want to be on the roads. And that would be after about 6 p.m., 6 p.m. or so. So great question. What's expected at the shoreline? Those super high totals and very strong winds over 40, 50 miles an hour, even possible there. So it's a lot. We're still sifting through all the data. I'm just giving you the updates here. It's been a crazy 24 hours going through all of this and sifting through all of the data here. So we're going to continue to watch it very, very closely. Anthony Carpino will be in later with all of the updates this afternoon and through tonight. And I'll have updates tomorrow morning. We'll have the whole team here likely tomorrow night and Monday morning. So we've got you covered on every aspect. But if it were me, if you're watching this right now, just know Sunday evening through Monday evening, that 24-hour period, roughly 5 p.m. Sunday to 5 p.m. Monday, going to be an issue with, just really difficult travel. It's that wind. It's going to blow your car. It's going to produce whiteout conditions. The visibility is going to be extremely low. And that's kind of the big talker here. That's what makes this system different for sure. So when does the wind start and how long does the snow last into Monday? Somebody said, I have an ultrasound in central Connecticut at 8:15 in the morning on Monday. Yeah, I would probably at this point cancel it. I really wouldn't want to be out Monday morning. It looks really tough out there. When does the wind start? That wind is going to pick up through Sunday night, really, as we close in on like the 9 p.m. hour or so, and it sticks with us through all of Monday, finally dying down by Monday evening. The snow, roughly, again, some light snow at times, and we'll post so many graphics for this as it gets, as we kind of put them together, but light snow through parts of Sunday, but the heaviest, the most impactful of the system comes between 5 p.m. tomorrow and 5 p.m. Monday. Is there a chance we can miss it at this point? No. Is there a chance that the impacts could go down? Yes. But I still think that we are going to feel something from this system in terms of a lot of snow and strong winds. Winds are almost guaranteed. Snow is guaranteed, truthfully. Winds are pretty much guaranteed, though, at about 30, 40 miles an hour at least. And then the snow upwards of, I think it's pretty guaranteed across much of the area to at least see 10 inches of that snow. Nor'easters, again, never underestimate the power of one, because they can really produce a lot of heavy snow that picks up very quickly and those strong winds. So do I think that we'll see some school and work canceled? I definitely do. Again, thank you all so much. We've been on for about 45 minutes or so. Heavy, wet, or light and fluffy. It's a little kind of a mix of both. It is a mix of both. And I'll post a little bit more about that, explaining why in just a little bit. So it's going to be a big system. Just telling you now. I've got to look through a little bit more data now that we've been on here for 45 minutes. This was just my update, but I'm going to look through some more data. We'll give you more updates on air, online, on our app. Our app, we have been pushing out all of the latest information, so you get an update as soon as we do. So that would be I really do recommend that's the best way to do it. Just have your app, you go about your day, then you get a push alert that gives you the latest information, because we will be sending those out through today, tomorrow, and of course Monday as it's happening as well. Thank you all so much. Be safe, but enjoy Saturday. It's a good Saturday. Sunday morning's fine too. It's just as we head towards the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow that we're going to have to really pay attention. So be very, very safe. We will keep you updated. It's our job to do so, and we'll make sure that you have the latest information to stay safe, and we'll ride this one out together. So bye, guys. Have a great Saturday.